Hello survivors and welcome to another Walking Dead Road to Survival video, and in this video we're going to be taking a first look at Sam and Tom, who are going to be a new duo coming to the game. This is going to be the next promo character or characters. We've never had this duo before. I don't think we've ever had them as individuals either, so it is a brand new character for sure. As you can see, we've got one holding the other. I'm not sure which one's which. I'm going to say Tom is the kid maybe? I've got no idea, but the kid's got a cast on his leg, so basically we've got a volunteer here who's going to be carrying him around, but he has got a high-powered slingshot, and that's going to be the weaponry keeping those walkers at bay. As we see on the visuals on the left-hand side, it does get visually upgraded, the kid, with like a pair of goggles on his head. Looks kind of cool. I actually kind of like this. I dig this a little bit. It is very interesting, very different than what we see before. You can see that cast as well on the left-hand side. It's got like a little smiley face on the blue cast, which is kind of cool. As we see on the stats, as a limit broken character, level 640. It has got 15,800 attack, 13,167 defense, and 14,922 HP. It is an alert character, considered a damage dealer, is a mythic character, of course, and is going to be a new member of the Militia Allegiance, of which I don't think there are too many in the game right now. I believe there's Magna, and I can't really remember anyone else. Maybe Connie? I think that might be it. But we'll go across and check out their adrenaline rush, and as you can see, it's called Hit Them High. It is a 66 AP cost rush, which is, you know, normal speed for an attack team, and being a damage dealer, you kind of would expect this character to be used on an attack team. Deal 450% damage to up to 2 enemies, up to 3 enemies get impaired for 1 turn. So kind of similar to characters we've had in the past. You know, attacking 2, you will select one target of the damage, and the second target will be completely RNG. There are downsides to this, there are upsides as well. It generally means that it will always hit 2 characters. It will never have the potential of like a line attack can have the potential of only hitting 1, because there can be just not 2 characters in a line. But the downside is that the other hit could hit lots of different things. It could hit like Guardian Shields, it could hit Payback, you know. There are a couple of things that RNG can go against you. Now, the second part, with 3 enemies getting impaired for 1 turn, it doesn't look like it's attached to the first part. It looks like it's potentially just separate. We'll have to wait and see. I'll do a little test. So potentially you could take down 2 and then 3 other enemies, but it doesn't say up to 3 other enemies. It's kind of weird. We'll check it out though. Okay, so here we are on the rush turn, and you can see I've got a very low level character on the defense team. It is a 1-star character. I want to see if we take this character out, do other characters, you know, are there still going to be 3 characters that get impaired? This is the big test for me. We're going to do the rush. The selected character will be attacked. We'll get another character to be attacked as well. Do all 3 get impaired? Interesting. See, this is like the best case scenario that you'd have. It would take down 2 and the remaining 3 enemies would be impaired. It would only be a 1-turn impair, but the way it works is if you see, like, I'm going to attack this character up here. I could potentially get stunned, but the way it works is, watch the AP bar on LED here. It will not change. Impair blocks AP gain, not just stops you from rushing. So it is actually really good at, overall, in terms of like, it will just stop any AP gain. It will stop AP gain on their turn as well. So if I defend, they'll all do basic attacks, and look, they've got no AP, and it includes AP gain from signature moves, basic attacks, and so on. So actually pretty effective by the looks of things. And something that I think that is quite lacking on attack teams is a little bit of control, and this isn't huge, but it is going to be pretty decent indeed. Now, if we look at the upgrades, you can see at grade 2, it goes from 200% damage to 400% damage. At grade 4, you get an extra 2 impaired targets, and that's really important. So you'd obviously want to get this character to grade 4, which wouldn't be too much of a problem. Limit break 1 would be a little bit harder, of course. You only get a 50% damage boost here, but if you can get that damage as high as possible, get the attack stat as high as possible, and maybe get some buffs rolling as well, taking down 2 characters seems to be ideal, with 3 other characters getting the impair on them, which is, like I say, very nice. It's going to control them for your the rest of your characters attacking that turn and their defense turn as well. So yeah, overall I think that's pretty good. Now, this incredible duo, of course, will have a signature move, and this time it's called Hit Them Low, and it has got an initial cooldown of turn 1, which is actually pretty nice. Cooldown of 3 turns, number of uses unlimited, up to 2 enemies get daze and minus 20% defense for 2 turns. So no damage dealt, so no issues with weapons proccing and controlling this character. You are going to get that 35 AP from doing the signature move turn 1, and you are going to be able to block turn 1 signature moves yourself. You know, there's a couple of characters that are getting buffs with Limit Break 2. We talked about already the likes of Connor and Mirabelle, who do pop up on defensive teams, and you can daze one of them guaranteed, and the other days will be a bit RNG. The minus 20% for 2 turns is kind of nice. It's only going to last the rest of the turn that this is actually done for the teammates, and the next turn for Sam and Tom. So generally it's not going to affect the rush of Sam and Tom, you know, because normally you'd have a turn 3 rush, which is a bit of a downside. Unless you get a command in your team, you'd be able to command Sam and Tom turn 2. You'd be able to rush one of those minus 20% defense targets, and that would actually increase the damage output that you're going to be able to do with Sam and Tom. But obviously you could just bring in other characters instead. You know, minus 20% defense off of turn 1 is actually going to be really good with other characters, and because Sam and Tom is alert, you could easily put them in a team with characters like Carol and Laurie and you know, Sandy. You could have that could be a nice 4 attack team, and you're doing defense down guaranteed onto a character with Sam and Tom. You can follow up with Laurie, and when Laurie takes out that character, everyone's got defense down, so the combos could be quite nice. So here we are. We'll just show the signature just so you see how it works. We've got Connor on the defense team here. Imagine he is Limit Break 2. Gonna be a bit of a problem when he gets that Limit Break 2 upgrade, because he can do a turn 1 signature move, but not if I do this. He is no longer going to be able to do his signature move for the first 2 turns. The RNG hit went on to Erica. That's going to be completely random between the other 4 characters, but there is defense down on both of them, but the priority would be the one you actually focus. Like, unless you got lucky with the secondary character and you were like, oh, actually I like to attack that character as well. This is going to help with other weapons as well. For instance, Rampage can do a little bit more attack. Any splash damage, or anything that does excess damage to adjacent characters, defense down is always nice. But I mainly see this as a daze, and it's going to be very good against those turn 1 signature moves. If we take a look at the upgrades, you can see at grade 3 it gets -1 starting cooldown, so the initial cooldown goes from 2 to 1, which is going to be quite important. And at grade 5 you get an extra daze and defense down target, so initially it will just be the character you focus, and then afterwards it will just be another character getting it via RNG, but it will be 2 characters getting controlled in some way, and a bit of defense down. So it is seemingly worthwhile to get this character to grade 5 for the signature move, but also of course for the stats. This character is a damage dealer. The more stats the better. Now Sam and Tom of course have those mythic abilities. These are the passive skills for the character. Now as a damage dealer they will get agility 1 and agility 2. It's only going to enhance their basic attacks though. It isn't actually going to be the strongest of agility upgrades. It isn't going to increase the damage they're going to do on their rush. It's only going to be able to increase the damage that they do on their basic attacks, because they do no damage on their signature move. So not the best when it comes to their roll. Shrug it off when this character starts their turn. 35% chance to recover from all penalties. It's this character alone that does that, just this character. But a 35% chance isn't actually too bad. The next one is Demoralize. When attacking, the target enemy gets -20 AP. That is actually pretty interesting, but again, it's most likely only going to be with the basic attacks, because the rush doesn't have on-attack statuses, and the signature move does no damage. So it is kind of strange so far. Scorn, whenever an enemy dies with a debilitating status, this character gets plus 100% AP. Now that is obviously really powerful, because you could potentially get a turn 2 takedown and get 100% AP, potentially get a turn 1 takedown and get 100% AP. You don't necessarily have to do the signature move. If you think you're going to guarantee yourself a kill, and if you've got nice weapons, you can get certain weapons that actually will amplify this. And if you look at ahead to the specialist skill, there's more likeliness of actually doing more damage against characters with debilitating statuses, so that is actually kind of cool too. Now, a debilitating status is one of the controlling statuses. It's like the core 4 plus a couple of others. It's going to be stun, confuse, taunt, and impair, plus I believe daze and normalize. Basically things that stop you from being able to do things. That's the only thing that are debilitating. Defense down isn't debilitating. It will reduce your damage, but it won't stop you from being able to attack. that's what a debilitating status effect is. Now, there are people who run, obviously, debilitating status effects potentially on their weapons. For instance, Harper has a stun on attack weapon. If she hits that stun like she did there, as long as I take down Michonne here, it's a guaranteed 100% AP that I'm about to receive. Guaranteed. It isn't 30% chance, 50% chance, it's 100% chance. So if I take her out, 100% AP. You can see the 100% AP came up above the avatar. If you've got a command, you could just go at it again with a rush, do some damage, impair some characters off of turn 1. And look, you can see 3 characters didn't gain any AP past the damage I initially did. So really nice, honestly, if you've got a nice setup. And I think, like I said before, the combo between this character and other early signature move characters, but you kind of will have to have a control somewhere from someone, but you could potentially get a turn 1 Confuse from Mirabelle, turn 1 Taunt from Connor, and those would both work. So while I don't think all of the passives here are that great for Sam and Tom, that one in particular is actually nuts. Shrug It Off is a grade 1, and that's the 20% chance to recover from all penalties. We will get Shrug It Off 2 in a moment. Agility, like I said, you're not going to be getting the bonuses here too much, which is, you know, it's a shame, but it is the way it is. Demoralize, when attacking the target enemy, gets minus 20 AP. That's guaranteed off of basic attacks only. Shrug It Off 2, it stacks with Shrug It Off 1. Obviously, that's at grade 4, stacks up to 35%. You can see that Scorn, and that's the 100% AP boost, is at grade 5, and I definitely say that is the key upgrade for this character without a doubt. That is really, really powerful, and potentially could work with the character if they get a takedown with the rush on somebody who's got a debilitating status. So, you know, you could have the rush and then get the rush by rushing. It's actually pretty crazy. And lastly, we have Agility 2 at Limit Break 1, and that, again, that is going to be stacked with Agility 1, but like I said, it's a bit sad with the agility side of things. It is only going to affect the basic attacks by the way it stands as Limit Break 1, just because that's the only form of on-attack damage that this character is going to do. Now, as you've probably noticed, the specialist skill for this character is Cutthroat 2, and this is going to deal bonus damage when someone has a debilitating status. They'll deal 100% extra damage, which is obviously really nice. This will work with the rush, this will work with the basic attacks, and that means you've got more chance of proccing that last passive. Really nice combo. I like this a lot. And when I test out this specialist skill, because we will just test it out to show you, I'll try and do it with the rush to see if the rush can proc the passive to get a rush again. Let's have a little look. Okay, so here we are on turn 2, and I have got someone who's got a nice line control. This is going to be a debilitating status effect. If I do this to the top line of enemies, they will be taunted. They will be taunted, but also I should get the bonus when attacking with Sam and Tom here. You should see it pop up above their name, but more importantly, I want to see if we do take one of these characters out, do we get 100% AP? Let's have, we do. We do. You can see the 100% AP comes in, and I could just do the rush again if I so wished. Nice. So this really does give you a great chance of that last passive, the most powerful passive from actually proc, just giving you a better chance to get the takedown. This will stack with weapon effects as well, so if you're having a weapon effect where it's like based on the enemy HP, they'll all stack together, just making you basically be able to do nukes even with basic attacks. So that's going to be really interesting to see how much damage you can potentially do with Sam and Tom. The fact that you're getting AP again to rush the next turn would mean that you could potentially lock down characters with impair, even if you're not taking out the entire team consistently. As long as you take out one character, you'll get the 100% AP to rush again, to impair again, to stop them from rushing, stop them from gaining AP. So lots of control, pretty good damage, consistent rushing in potential, you know, if you keep it up. Yeah, I actually like this. The combination between those three things is nice. I think there are some parts of the kit which is, like I said, a little bit disappointing, like with the agility. We had this with other characters in the past. I believe Garrett, where he was a medic, but he didn't have any healing in his kit. It's all bonus HP, which isn't affected. So sometimes this can happen like this a little bit, but this will help with the basic attacks, potentially taking someone out to give him 100% AP. Now, Sam and Tom do have an attached weapon. It is that slingshot. Sam's violent hunting slingshot. It isn't a homemade one. This is definitely a professional slingshot. It has got 25% attack, a medium bonus to AP when attacking, regain 100% HP at the beginning of each wave. So maybe a decent SR weapon, but not really raid ready. It is a 5-star weapon in here because I had to 5-star it to put a weapon in Sam and Tom's hands. But it does start off at being a 4-star weapon. I would probably just make it a 5-star weapon and then just put whatever weapons you have in your, in the bank, just into their hands. Offensive, 1535, trying to do as much attack as possible, seems to be the best way to go with this character. So that is Sam and Tom, and I think that, the good parts of this character's kit are really good, real high potential, and then there are parts of this character's kit which is just like a bit underwhelming, but could be unleashed a little bit in the future. You never know. Limit Break 2, I don't know the Limit Break 2 upgrade to this character. Also, there is Limit Break 3 that is going to come along. It only needs to make things happen where, like, the signature move does damage, and then suddenly that's going to take into account agility. Only things like that. And it has been done in the past where characters have had damage added to their signature moves that didn't do damage before. So there is potential. We'll have to keep an eye out. This is a damage-dealing character, so that is reasonably likely. But like I said, it will have to keep an eye out. But I think as it stands, that passive, specialist skill, and rush, the combo between all three, if the character has any debilitating status effect, they're getting destroyed, and then this character's getting the rush again. It's going to be nice. It's actually going to be pretty good. You're just going to have to make sure you're getting those rushes nice and quick. You want to be finishing off characters with Sam and Tom just because they get a massive bonus if there is a status effect on them, a debilitating status effect, should I say. So yeah, I actually think this is kind of cool. It's kind of cool idea, opens up some new thoughts on potential future characters. But do give me your thoughts on Sam and Tom. What do you think of the visuals? This is something very different. We've only had characters like this before where they've had animals, for instance, where it's been like someone with a dog or a bird or something like that, but this is completely different. Very, very much out there. But do give me your thoughts down in the comments, guys. That is going to be the end of my video. I want to thank you very much for tuning in, and as always, keep on surviving, guys. Keep on surviving.